Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. I'm Forrest, and today we're diving into the best junglers to help you climb in patch 14.22, especially if you're below Diamond. But don't worry, Diamond players and up, I've got some top picks for you too, and I guarantee there'll be a few surprises. If you're aiming to hit Diamond, these champion recommendations, along with my upcoming guides and reviews, will give you the edge you need. I'll also be doing a highly requested breakdown for Graves, who's an absolute beast this patch, and we'll talk about Warwick too. Additionally, the top players use a powerful jungle path guide that I'll be sharing, so don't miss out on my upcoming content. And here's the best part. Any new member who joins my Discord will get free jungle coaching, so if you're serious about improving, check the link in the description and let's start climbing together. Alright, let's dive right into the S+ tier picks of this patch. These are hands down the strongest junglers you'll want to play. First up, we have Graves, who's absolutely dominating right now. He's benefited from a series of indirect buffs, starting with the Collector buff, nerfs to key AP champions, and now the latest buff to Ghostblade. All of this has positioned him as arguably the best jungler in the game right now. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if he sees a nerf soon, so take advantage while you can. Check out my latest Graves build guide to make sure you're gearing him up with the most powerful items for this patch. I fully expect him to stay S tier until the end of the split, and I'll keep you updated with any changes, VOD reviews, and tips on mastering him. Moving on, we have Nocturne, another powerhouse in this patch. With nerfs to some of his biggest counters like Gwen, Lilia, and even Udyr, Nocturne's fast clears, strong build path, and post-level 6 ganking power make him an excellent choice, especially in lower ranks where fights are constant. And of course, Amumu, the sad mummy, earns his spot here too. No matter the meta, he's a beast in lower ranks. With the recent adjustments to his Q, it's easier than ever to land at least one Q on your target and chain lock them, setting up kills for your teammates, even if they're not the best. Plus, with the slower meta, Amumu's weaker early game isn't as much of a setback. So if you're looking for a solid pick with loads of crowd control, he's your guy. Now, let's jump into the S tier picks for this patch, starting with Warwick. If you missed his latest update, make sure to check out my video on it. Warwick was already a strong A tier choice in lower ranks, but these recent changes have boosted him even further, making him a solid pick in higher ranks too. If you're a fan of the doggo, this is definitely the patch to play him. And don't worry about the Blade of the Ruined King nerf. It hasn't stopped Warwick from being a beast in the jungle. Now, you're probably wondering why Dr. Mundo and Teemo are so high on this list. Mundo has some of the fastest jungle clears in the game right now, and he's becoming increasingly popular even in high ranks above Master. When a straightforward champion like Mundo starts climbing in high yellow, you know he's strong. With fast clears, cheap tank items, and surprisingly high damage despite building mostly tank items, Mundo is an unkillable juggernaut, especially with Titanic Hydra. So, if you're after a tanky, nearly unstoppable force, Mundo is your pick this patch. And then there's Teemo, the little devil himself. If you want to bring some mischief to the jungle with a strong and fun AP pick, Teemo's the champ for you. His objective control is fantastic thanks to his shrooms, and his clear speed is solid. He's becoming a jungle threat that's hard to ignore, especially after his recent visual update and buffs. So why not give the sneaky Yordle a shot and enjoy watching your opponents rage quit? These S-tier champs are top picks for this patch, so try them out and let me know how they work for you. Before we dive into the A-tier picks, let me introduce a new segment on my tier list, Counterpicks. I'd love your feedback on this edition. In this segment, I'm going over champions that don't always shine as high picks, but can absolutely dominate in the right matchups. Let's talk about a few of these Counterpick champs, so you know exactly why they landed here rather than in the A or B tier. First up is Poppy. She's a solid B tier jungler as a blind pick, but when she's up against teams with a lot of dashes, she jumps straight to S tier. If you get the chance to last pick Poppy against highly mobile team comps, she's a game changer. Next, we have Olaf. He's your go-to champion when facing a team loaded with crowd control. Olaf can tear through it all and become a powerhouse. But if there's not a lot of CC on the enemy team, he's just average. So if you see the right matchup, lock in Olaf and watch him shred. And finally, Jax, one of my absolute favorite counterpicks. If the enemy locks in Master E and you're not a fan of Rammus, who's also great against AD-heavy teams, Jax is the perfect answer. He's one of Yi's biggest counters, and he can turn fights in your favor, especially as the game progresses. These picks can be S tier in the right situations and are more than capable of carrying games solo. Let me know if you're enjoying this new Counterpick segment. Alright, let's dive into the A tier. These junglers may have seen some recent nerfs, both direct and indirect, but don't let that fool you. A tier still means they're powerful picks that can absolutely carry games in the right hands. So, if you've been maining these champs, there's no need to stop now. Starting with Fiddlesticks, he's a tough champion to master, but in the hands of a one-trick, he's terrifying. Especially if you're playing in higher ranks like Master and above, Fiddlesticks can feel downright broken with his game-changing team-fighting potential. Next up is Kindred, an incredible counter to Graves, who's been a popular pick lately. If you've been grinding with Graves, don't sleep on Kindred. She can make quick work of him. So if you're a Graves player, consider banning her. Kindred's mobility and damage make her one of the most effective counter junglers right now. Then we have the fighters, Vi, Jarvan 4, and Briar. Each of these champs brings powerful engagement and crowd control, allowing them to single-handedly carry fights and swing games. If you love being in the thick of it, these are your go-to A-tier picks. Lastly, Diana is on the rise. She's slowly climbing her way up with a solid mix of tankiness and burst damage, becoming stronger with each patch. Let me know if you'd like me to go even more in-depth on each champion and their place in the list. But for now, these are the top highlights. One of the B, C, and D tiers. Most of these champions struggle a bit in the lower ranks, so unless you're already dedicated to mastering one of them, it's probably best to find someone from A and above tiers. However, if you're a true one-trick with any of these picks, there's no need to worry. They can still be solid options in the right hands. Take Evelynn, for example. While she can be incredibly fun and rewarding for one-tricks, her performance in this patch is hindered by the abundance of fighters and tanks, making it tough, though not impossible, to secure those kills. But if you know her inside and out, you'll still find plenty of success. And then there's Kayn. Both his blue and red forms remain powerful tools for one-tricks, each offering unique strengths in different matchups. Kayn's flexibility can make him one of the most enjoyable champions to specialize in, allowing you to adapt to any game. So, if you're already committed to one of these champions, keep on grinding. And if you're curious about the top 10 best one-tricks to master for Season 14, check out my video on the subject. You'll find it on my channel, or just click the link in the top right corner. Alright, to sum things up, if you're below Diamond, the best champions to climb with this patch are Nocturne, Amumu, Warwick, Shyvana, and for some AP Spice, Teemo. These picks are all around strong and super effective for getting those wins. And while Graves is also top tier, he's a bit more challenging to master, so unless you're ready to invest the time, he may take a little more practice to bring out his full potential. For those of you in Diamond and above, I highly recommend giving Graves, Nidalee, and Elise a go. And don't sleep on Hecarim and Lee Sin. They're also fantastic choices for higher level play. And remember, if I didn't mention a champion or didn't highlight them as much, it doesn't mean they're weak or not viable. There are plenty of strong picks out there, but these are the ones I'd focus on this patch. Good luck with your climbing, and thank you so much for watching. Every like, comment, and new subscription means the world and helps the channel grow. Happy grinding!